Here's why Harvard is holding an individual graduation ceremony for black students this month. Stephanie Toon, The Atlanta Journal-Constitution. 3:43 p.m. Monday, May 8, 2017. Atlanta Life. Cambridge, Ma, June 4. Harvard University students attend commencement ceremonies June 4, 2009 in Harvard Yard in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Founded in 1636, this year marks the 358th year of graduation ceremonies at the university, considered the oldest in the nation. Photo by Darren McAllister/Getty Images. Black graduate students at Harvard University will soon be a part of a first-of-its-kind ceremony. On May 23, the prestigious university will hold an individual ceremony for black graduate students, according to a report by The Root. The ceremony, which took a year to plan, celebrates fellowship not segregation. Michael Huggins, a graduate student that will receive his Master's of Public Policy from the Harvard Kennedy School this month, told The Root. Presidential order could help Atlanta's historic black colleges and universities. This is an opportunity to celebrate Harvard's black excellence and black brilliance, Michael Huggins told the online publication. It's an event where we can see each other and our parents and family can see us as a collective, whole group. A community. More than 120 students have registered to partake in the ceremony, which will be held at Holmes Field, near the Harvard Law School in Cambridge, Massachusetts. The students raised more than $27,000 to pay for the ceremony and a reception that will follow. The student body hopes to organize a similar ceremony for black undergraduate students at Harvard next year, Huggins said. Economic, political pressures up at historic black colleges. The graduate students still plan to participate in the school's main ceremony later this month. Last year, Harvard was named the #2 best college for African Americans by Essence and Money magazines. This is not about segregation, Huggins told The Root. It's about fellowship and building a community. This is a chance to reaffirm for each other that we enter the work world with a network of supporters standing with us. We are all partners.
Look on specially marked packs, find your code and win awesome prizes. With Juicy Juice, everyone's a winner. Disney Pixar's Cars 3, June 16th in 3D.
56 years ago this past Friday was the Wine Garden store sit-in in Houston. Texas Southern University professor Sabino Sandifer Walker led her students on that march to reflect on the importance of what TSU students were doing. A month earlier, in February of 1960 in Greensboro, North Carolina, workers refused to serve 4 African-American men at the lunch counter. That resulted in sit-ins all across other southern U.S. cities. Well, tonight, you will hear the power of nonviolent resistance from a longtime Houston pastor and civil rights activists who helped guide and inspire those sit-ins right here in Houston. It's an era well known by Reverend Bill Lawson. You see, he opposed the sit-ins at first, then went on to become a very significant player in the battle to end segregation in Houston. His daughter and our colleague Melanie Lawson has his story.
When Bill Lawson moved his young family to Houston from Kansas, he knew about segregation, but
I wasn't prepared for physical segregation. We had racial separation in Kansas, but signs that said black and white and sections of the bus where you could sit, that was new to me.
So he made a decision.
We simply were not going to buy clothes and Foley's, and we were not going to drink out of the colored water fountain. I simply was not going to allow my children to grow up in that kind of atmosphere.
Yet as chaplain for the Baptist Student Union at Texas Southern University, he couldn't understand why students wanted to sit in at lunch counters.
The students came to me at night when the Baptist Student Center was closed and said, we're going to do a march on wine gardens tomorrow. And I said to the students, you're going to do what?
He urged them not to risk jail.
One of them said to me, Reverend Lawson, if you don't want to help us, then we'll find help from someplace else. But we're going to march on wine gardens. And they walked out of the Baptist Student Center and just left me standing there with my mouth hanging open, not realizing that history had turned a page.
His wife said the students would still need help.
But sure enough, They did get put in jail, and we had the task of trying to raise money to get them out of jail. That's how I got into the civil rights movement.
The protest had strict rules, even a dress code.
They would just walk in and sit down. If they were told to leave, they wouldn't leave. If they were hit, then they would just fall down. But they would never respond violently.
Houston drew the attention of Dr. Martin Luther King, who'd been branded a communist by the FBI.
And when he came here, no churches would let him come in. And we were a brand new church, and I was a young preacher. And I recognized the justice of these kids' protests.
Lawson got to know a very different man from the powerful orator.
He was as down to earth as you could possibly get. Rather than stay in a hotel, he would come to our house and he would ask my wife, who was not a cook, to fix him some collard greens and pork chops. These guys would sit on the staircase between our first and second floor, and they would tell very unpreacher-like jokes. They were just kind of ordinary people.
What's most remarkable about the civil rights movement in Houston isn't how it started, but how the beginning of the end came, with secret meetings between white and black community leaders. They worried about violent images seen in other southern cities and what it could mean for local businesses.
We built the stadium and we built the Space Center, and we were trying to draw oil and gas companies into Houston, and we were not prepared for what happened in Birmingham.
After holding a number of fiery meetings, they agreed to desegregate the city in a single day.
And they agreed, all right, on that one day, whatever that one day is, we will be silent. Nothing will be published.
Even the local media who took part in those secret meetings agreed to a total blackout.
And one day, you can take down the signs from the buses and take down the signs from the water fountains and open the department stores and the restaurants. So on that one day, Houston pretty well desegregated.
Now, more than 50 years later, he looks back on his own role in so many of those changes.
Well, I wish that I'd done more. The one thing that I am glad about is that I was able to bring people together and that we could talk about the problem.
Melanie Lawson, 13 Eyewitness News.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County Cop Watch, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago. And so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheep up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Charlotte County Cop Watch with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave let's say actually yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where, at least I can do it, 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt-free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month. Oh my God! Yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is, you know, if I got, you know, some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. You know, 47,000 of you so far right now. You know, $1 a day. I mean, $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.